A very good evening. Welcome to this Zoom call. Just give me a show of hands if you can hear me. Fantastic. Good to see you all. You're probably like me and have had 10 Zooms today already. It seems to be very popular at the moment. Very excited tonight to put this on, of course, and it's one of a series of social media events that we put together from time to time. I've got the easy job, by the way. I'm just hosting and pressing a few buttons. You will smile whilst we've been holding on, which we opened the Zoom up at about 7:30, 8:30 Central European time. I've nearly eaten a bag of Berry Blend soft chews. That was my dinner tonight. So we've got the ever competent Ayaz Hussain, who's going to be joining us and taking us through a little bit of talking around a video strategy, something that I think I'm going to take quite a lot away from tonight. If you haven't been doing videos, probably now's the time to start doing them. If you have been doing them, maybe there's a few little tweaks you've got to make here and there to get better results. But of course, as we know, social media is changing on a daily basis, and Ayaz, he's a professional in this area. He knows what he's talking about. So get your notes, get a piece of pen, a piece of paper ready, please, to take notes, because I'm expecting quite lots of tips over the next half an hour. Hopefully, with time, we may answer some questions. But we have an international call tonight. I've just taken a note of a few countries I've seen: Switzerland, UK, Germany, Italy, Norway, Portugal, Holland, Poland, Sweden. I'm sure I've missed a few out, but welcome to everybody, and I hope it's going to be an exciting call. So, Ayaz, if I can come over to you first of all.
Hey, Simon. How you doing?
Fantastic. He looks like a proper professional there with his microphone, doesn't he, if you can see him?
Chilling. Enjoy my space. It's just where I get my most work done. And it's just a nice juice plus orange in the background. I'm feeling it.
I guess my first question to you, Ayaz, is maybe some people aren't doing videos, right? And they're just doing the normal things on different types of platforms on social media. Why do we need to do videos? I mean, what sort of impact do they have?
I think to me, Simon, video is attention grabbing. So when people are scrolling down Facebook or Instagram, static content, so things that are not moving, it's really easy to roll right past it. But dynamic content, so video, it catches your eye. So the more the camera is moving about, the more exciting that content is for you and everyone else to tune in and hear what this person has to say.
Makes a lot of sense to me. So what are we looking for here now? I mean, I think from your point of view, we're not looking to do hundreds of videos a week.
No.
How many videos are we asking everybody to commit to tonight?
We're going to go for quality over quantity. Right. And we're going to really work towards, when I share my screen in a second, we're going to work towards warming up and then creating a little something and then building that into a weekly consistent strategy so that you're not stuck wondering what to post. You're not stuck running out of ideas of how you're going to communicate. You have a very fixed idea. Go, boom, this week is all about this topic. Next week is about this topic. And it's a really easy approach. But like all things, you need a bit of hard work at the beginning to get the wheels turning.
Fantastic. Now, I know you've got a little presentation to be showing us first of all. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the areas we should be focusing on in terms of how do we get this strategy going?
Of course, yeah. I think for me, it really, it all kicks off with your intention. Like everything in life, if you have a very honest reason for creating this content, so it is not, absolutely not for extra followers, extra likes, and extra new people interested in your business. It's because you care about the value you'd like to deliver more than anything else. Your intention has to be pure when you begin anything.
That's an interesting topic, though. You said actually you're not going for likes on this one.
No,
correct?
Because I would much rather have the message of what I'm trying to deliver be crystal clear, and the likes will come inevitably.
Right, fantastic. Because I think a lot of people look at their quality and think, okay, well, maybe I'm just not getting the likes here, so shall I keep on posting?
I think you can, but it's also time to adapt the strategy of what you're creating so that it's inevitably going to get better over time, and the followers will come because, as we're going to talk about in a minute, we're going to create exactly what your audience want to see.
Fantastic. Great stuff. So let's talk a little bit about, probably first of all, the different pillars, maybe subjects that you're looking to post, whether it's sport, whether it's beauty, or what do you do?
Let's dive into this presentation. Can everyone see my screen up here?
Yeah, we can see it.
Cool. It should jump in. So I think the first place I would recommend to start is commit to one video per week. So this could be 3 minutes long, could be 10 minutes long, but you should be talking about one consistent topic. And it's not because your upline said you need to record a Facebook Live every single week. It's not because you said, I haven't posted in 4 days, I better post something. It's not because you're bored. You have to begin with a very clear intention. This video is going to be about one of 4 main topics. And we'll jump into these. So most of you guys will post about one of these 4 areas. So it'll be a video about fitness, family, healthy eating, or team building. So Simon, you've done a couple of videos with me in the past, and haven't we always began with a really clear subject line?
Only because you got me organized, by the way. I was probably like a lot of people, you just throw a video up and hope for the best. So I like the way of thinking in terms of organization here.
No, I think obviously I put you out of your comfort zone, and I said, we're going to talk about, Dubai 2020. We're going to talk about the bundle offer or whatever it might have been. Did you feel it was out of your comfort zone when we first started?
I think everybody does. First of all, the first one you do, you're a bit petrified because you're not quite sure how people are going to look at it. And but I think the thing is, you just got to get on and do it, Ayaz. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Because you learn 100%. By doing it.
100%. The best way that I usually start is I get a notebook out, and on the left-hand side of the page, I'll write all the problems that I might face doing my job. And then on the right-hand side, I write a solution to each of these problems. So for example, and I'll go on to some examples in a sec, but if you couldn't get your kids to eat healthily, what life hacks have you learned over the last 6 months, over the last year, that have helped your children eat healthier? So you literally want to have and marry up the problems, marry them up to the solutions. Then you take it one step further, and you really narrow down into within each of those 4 categories, what value you're going to share. So you're going to explain how you squeeze in a lunchtime run, obviously not under lockdown, but normally when you're at the office. You're going to explain what happened when you gave up fizzy drinks. You're going to talk about one of your team members and then listen to Abi Sola's story. And you're going to really tell this person's story on their behalf with their consent and making sure it's compliant, of course. And when you start with these headlines, it just makes life so much easier.
So we go from that, of course, and then you've got to, well, how do I plan my content? I guess it's the thing from there. I found out what I want to do is, but how am I going to go and do this?
So you really need to break each of these titles down into maybe 2, maybe 3 bullet points, so that you know that you're going to have a minute and a half on topic 1, 90 seconds to a minute on topic 2, 30 seconds on topic 3, and then you summarize your whole video. So when I was thinking about how do you plan your content as an organized person, I immediately think about a diary. So I think about writing down in my diary on the 20th at 4 p.m., I'll be filming for 2.5 hours. You could churn out 5, maybe 6 videos in 2.5 hours. If your kids, are distracted with your partner or your mother or your sister, if you have a bit of time, how many videos can you film at once? Well, you pre-record these. So just I want to ask everyone, how do you feel about pre-recording a video?
I think it's a good thing because sometimes, you're in the zone and you feel in your sort of your mindset that actually you can do it. And then probably the day after, actually, I can't do it. Your mind saying I can't do it. So I think when you've got all your collective thoughts together, I think it's very good. Actually, I asked to get them 5 or 6 done at once.
Absolutely. I think the benefit of doing 5 or 6 at once is then you can then stack them up for later. So then once you know how many you can film in one day, you can plan 1 a week. You could put one this Wednesday, one next Wednesday, one the Wednesday after. And so the videos that you create each week are not coming out for 2 or 3 weeks down the line, which makes your life so much easier.
Now on this one as well, you said, okay, let's go and do one a week. Can you commit to that? Are you saying you need to be consistent week in and week out by posting something?
Absolutely.
Get you better
Great
results?
point. Great point. Yeah, being consistent, that it's a video that delivers value for like-minded parents. It's a video that gives tips for people who want to work out at home, and that the audience can expect it every Wednesday at 5 o'clock every single week, almost like a TV show.
Right.
And how hard, does that feel hard to people? Does that feel like it's impossible to do, or does that feel quite achievable? The first day to film 4 or 5, and then afterwards you just have to film 1 or 2 to make life easier.
Maybe put something in the text there in the comments to see is that possible for you? Because it does seem a lot. First of all, to go from nothing, maybe you're doing nothing, and you've got to go and do 5 or 6 at once.
I mean, maybe that's a bit of a dramatic start. Maybe 3 on the first Saturday that you try, and then 1 a week from then on. That could be more realistic.
Yeah, everyone's going here. Look, it's very achievable. Anyway, that's it. Ayaz says you've got to do 3.
I think you can easily do a minimum of 3, because if they're only 4 minutes long each, you guys are very used to doing a live for sometimes half an hour. So that same amount of time can create 3 different pieces of content rather than 1.
Fantastic. Let's talk about captions, because I think this is a key one. You know, is you always say to me, actually, I'm always asking you, actually, what's the best caption to use? What's sort of going to be eye-catching?
To me, it's all about adding that additional context. So if your title was "How I Got My 6-year-old to Eat Broccoli," the caption is all about giving additional context. So you don't need to overthink it. You literally need to type as if you were WhatsApping your best friend, as if you were texting your sister. Like if a family member asked you, how'd you got your kid to eat broccoli? You text them in a very plain, natural way. And it's exactly the same for a caption.
Great stuff. Okay, so we go next on to filming day.
Oh, that's my favorite part. So I think the big question that I ask myself is, what else could you create? So the day of creating a video, like we've talked about, you might want to take an Instagram story of yourself and the camera, and get your partner or your husband or anyone to take a picture of you speaking into the camera. You then might want to get a boomerang. You then might wish to get 5 or 6 Instagram stories showing how you set the camera up, how you faced it yourself. You might want to film some outtakes, so when you messed up and when you stumbled over your words. And then you might want to create so many different other types of content. You might want to take a nice photograph of yourself. You might want to take a selfie of yourself. So there's so much more you can create on filming day other than just a video, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the weekly strategy. I think that's probably key as well to people getting results.
Absolutely. So this is a strategy you can apply for anything. You can apply this for, if you went on stage at a convention and you did a speech. If you were in an event and you were on stage and you with a flip chart and you explained something. If you're making a recipe, no matter what it is, the long length video is the key, the pillar of your strategy. So you take this super long video and then you cut it down. So you cut it down into some promotional clips. So you might want a version that's 1 minute long, just for your Instagram feed. You might want a Facebook version that's going to be landscape rather than being vertical. You might want an IGTV version that's maybe 3.5 minutes long, but vertical. And then you might want a couple of Instagram stories as well. And they're all going to be 15 seconds long, but you add the poll, you add the slider, you add the question, so that people are interacting with you, voting on how much they like this content that you're creating.
Tell me, I mean, a lot of people are going, great, well, I need to cut my video down. I mean, are you going to go into some apps I know later on? But I mean, how do you cut a video down?
It's super easy. You go into your camera roll,
Yeah.
and then you click edit on the full length video, and a little slider will appear, and you can use your finger to shorten the video and save it as a brand new clip.
Right.
So you won't delete everything you have. You're going to save a 1 minute chunk, and then you're going to save another 3 minute chunk and a 4 minute chunk. And all of these will work as individual pieces of content as well.
I mean, I really like the idea of having some teasers as well. You know, because people can't just wait to get their hand on the full content.
Of course.
Actually, rather than throwing all of them at once, have a little teaser there, just to create that curiosity.
Certainly, but we all know that we're so busy sometimes we haven't got time to watch a 36-minute long video.
Yeah.
So you'd rather watch a 90-second clip that gives you one singular piece of advice, and then later on, if you find enough value, then you'll want to watch the full version. And I think
Okay. So I think the next one is creating announcements, is it?
oh, someone's annotating on us. Why have they annotated?
I don't know.
Okay, well, it's super important, that part there, announcement and follow-up.
We've got Leonardo da Vinci with us here tonight.
So the announcement is actually more important sometimes than the content. Because if you can create enough attention, enough hype before the big piece of video, then you're going to get more eyeballs ready and waiting for it. So that's why you have the countdown function in the stories. You can say, releasing an IGTV video at 6 p.m. and a little countdown will begin, 6 hours, 20 seconds to go. And for all the people who then say, alert me when this countdown ends, they each get a notification that it's 6 p.m. Simon has now uploaded his video successfully. And that's a big one for you guys.
Great. There's lots of questions coming in. When do you post and all this? We'll come to those at the end, okay?
Come to Q&A, absolutely.
Yep.
So to me, you've taken your long video, you've broken that into 5 or 6 teasers. You've then taken each of those teasers and you've built that into a number of Instagram stories. You can take a quote from one of those minute-long pieces of video. You can take a step-by-step. So in 15-second Instagram stories, step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. Step 3, step 4. And you can make fun of yourself. If you did a really awkward hand gesture, you can make a meme out of yourself and poke fun, because the more people laugh, the more they'll want to watch the rest of the content to see what was so funny.
I need a lot of memes because I make a lot of mistakes.
And really, this is the fundamental part of your strategy, because no matter what you create each week, even if it was 3 minutes long, it's not just one piece of content. It is stories, it is Facebook content, TikTok content, Instagram content, Snapchat content, and there's no limit to what you can create if you just sit there on your phone editing it down into smaller chunks.
Fantastic. So I know we're going to come on now to what apps shall we use? I mean, there's a whole host of different apps we've all got on our phone. We've got literally hundreds of them downloaded. A lot of them we don't even use. So let's talk about the ones which you feel are actually going to get the best results.
Do you know what? That last thing you just mentioned, a lot of them we have, but we don't even know what they do. It's a huge bit. So grab your phones, everyone, and take a picture, if my mouse works. Take a picture of this slide, because these apps are my absolute favorite for making amazing, beautiful Instagram stories. They all pretty much do the same thing. Mojo is probably my favorite. And like many things in life, you might have to invest £10 a year if you want the pro version. But it's so worth it when you invest. I'm not making any money, no commission out of any of these, but you genuinely get better results with the pro versions.
By the way, I can say that Mojo, I use myself, and it is so simple to use. It's a great tool.
Unbelievable. I think things like Scroll, SCRL, is one of my favorites. If you've ever seen someone post, you know, like a swipeable picture, and when they look really seamless, that's when they're using Scroll. That one's super powerful. The other one that's my favorite is the Spark Post and Canva. So they are amazing for building any type of flyer, any type of recognition picture Canva and Spark Post are one of the easiest ones. The others are slightly more video orientated for the story. But Spark Post and Canva specifically can do squares as well, which is a massive bonus.
What's the Expresso, or is it Impresso?
Impresso is another video one, and it's really great for stitching together lots of different photos, lots of different videos, and making it into one 15-second video. So Impresso is very powerful, but that's probably the most expensive out of all of them.
Unfold, I don't think I've ever seen Unfold before.
Unfold is for all the hipsters and our beloved influencers. Very white, minimal marble textures in there. It's very popular, Unfold. And so yeah, loads of you are letting us know in the comments what you use. So I'd love to hear, just out of curiosity. And yeah, these are the main apps that I would recommend. And yeah, this is my video strategy. So I would love to actually open it up to some questions. I know there's plenty of time for Q&A if you guys want.
Thanks. Maybe you can come out the presentation, Ayaz, and we'll just we'll see everybody here. So yes, please, if you've got a question for Ayaz, we've probably got another 5 minutes. Let's have a look at the time. Yeah, we have. So we can take a few questions. Right. This is from Marcin. Hey, Marcin. How do you value pre-recorded content versus FB lives?
So again, a live is definitely for a type of conversation where you want live input. So if you were gonna say, for example, what shake shall I create today? You guys vote and I'll create. So then you hold up the berries versus the banana and the audience guess which one you put in. That's when a live is super powerful. But if you know that you're talking about what steps your kid took to eat broccoli, there's not much the audience can vote on there. So that's a good situation where the pre-recorded video works over the live.
Good. I hope that answers that, Marcin. I know you do a lot of lives, by the way.
There's one question here I like. Is there a restriction on the length of Instagram video? Yes. There's two types of Instagram video. One is a version that's 1 minute long. And then for an IGTV video, you can have up to 10 minutes long. So where the plus sign is on Instagram to create a new photo or video, if you choose a video over 1 minute long, it will give you the option to post as IGTV. So there used to be an IGTV icon in the top right-hand corner, and they took that away this year. It's now just with the plus button as a normal piece of content.
Question here from Orla. Can you do a voiceover on any of those video apps?
Yes. Let me remind myself of them. A voiceover, and there's an app I'll write in the chat here. It's called InShot, InShot. That's probably the best app for doing voiceovers. You can almost watch your footage and then speak on top of it. Great. I'll write that in the chat.
Question here from Sabi. Have you got any tips using TikTok? Of course, yeah, it seems to be the in thing at the moment.
Absolutely. TikTok is a fantastic platform, but it is not what you want to create. It's what is currently trending. So I think first you need to be a consumer of TikTok for 1 to 2 weeks, just to see what other people are creating. Then I would find out which dance moves correlate to which song, if you want to dance at all. So you then need to know the exact steps that people do for the Ahi challenge or for any of the different songs out there. And you need to create some content that stands out. And it's no good just replicating the exact moves. There are thousands of people with audiences doing that exact technique. So for example, I do some Photoshop tricks on TikTok. And I'm trying my hardest. One clocked 3,000. The other one I posted an hour ago is almost clocking 500. So there's ways to build on TikTok if you see what everybody else is doing and try and do it differently and better.
We're seeing some hilarious TikToks at the moment, of course. Now everybody's on lockdown. everybody's trying out this new tool, so it is hilarious.
It's
And by
fun
the
to
way,
me as well.
I did one which was a massive fail with my kids, because I haven't got the hips for dance moves. But anyway, have a go is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Uh,
Definitely. I would just say don't do exactly what you do on your Facebook and your Instagram stories. Try and build TikTok content that's completely different.
Thank you, Martin. You're too kind. Is there a way of seeing how many people view your video from Anita?
Yes. So every one of these platforms has analytics. So when you click on, for example, on Instagram, it will say 800 views. If you click that and say view insights, it will give you a little bit deeper kind of information about you had this many people potentially seeing your content. You had another number of people interacting with it, this many people sharing the content. So every social platform has analytics as well.
That's great. That's good stuff. Another one here. Can you show a picture of what the apps look like? I think probably the apps that you talked about.
I can't right now, but if you type each one of them into the App Store search bar, it probably should be the #1 result. Yeah, and if you have any problems, just message me on Instagram DMs, Ayaz Hussain JP, and I'll happily help you out.
Okay. Question here from Karen H. Can IGTV go on stories?
Not in its full version. Again, what's a really good idea is to use your phone, clip that IGTV into lots of small chunks, and then you can be able to add a swipe up. So when you have posted an IGTV, a new icon will appear in your story. And it looks like two paper clips linked together. And when you click that paper clips, it will add a swipe up to your story.
Fantastic. Question from Klaus here. What's the next big thing after Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok? Very good question. Probably if you knew this one, you'd be a millionaire, Ayaz.
I don't really understand why you look for the next big thing when you can master the current thing. So you can really build a sustainable fan base on TikTok. And once you've built your audience, then start talking about our products. And then you'll have an amazing fan base who love what you create. And then you can then get some leads out of them.
I think that's a really good answer, by the way. Use what's there, not what's not there. From April, Grace, what tools are you using to get more reach on Insta?
Honestly, I'm not thinking about how to get more reach. I'm thinking how to make the best storytelling content. So it always goes back to value. So I know if I deliver more value, I'll get more reach. If I can deliver something that people find curious, they'll then share it on, and that attracts more reach. And the other tactic I do is the more you praise other people on Instagram, so if you saw, I don't know, Carly doing something amazing, if you put that in your story saying, well done, Carly, I'm 90% sure Carly would share it into her story, thereby giving you more reach and more fans that you didn't already have. The more you praise people, the more they'll return the favor and give you access to their audience.
Great tip. Recognition is the key. What about, this is from Nokia 3, so I'm sure there's a name behind Nokia 3. What about LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is a very special one. It's definitely more for industry people who use it in the financial world as their Facebook. So I'm not super sure it's the right place for delivering healthy living tips and advice unless you have somewhat of a blog. That's where LinkedIn could be fantastic, but I'm not sure about how a partner might use LinkedIn in this scenario.
I think that's a really good response as well, because I've had a friend recently, today actually, he just posted in there, I'm coming off LinkedIn because I'm being pitched by products, just because people are on lockdown and they're trying to use all these different channels, of course, to sell products. So I think it's a good tip. From Kelly Marie, what's best hashtags to use? I think this is a very good question.
Absolutely. Kelly, I think if you're making a smoothie bowl, I would type that exact hashtag into Instagram and see what different varieties come up. And take the smallest hashtags and use 25 to 30 of them. And that's the simplest way I can explain. It has to be what your content contains. If it's a picture of a selfie, smoothie bowl hashtags will not work. But if it is a picture of you in the gym hashtags will definitely work. It has to relate back to the image. And again, how many fans you have, you should be using the smallest hashtags possible.
Thanks, Ayaz. Question from Sarah. Is there an unfollow assisted app anymore for Insta?
Oh, I would stay away from them. Any app like that could put your account potentially at risk. If you have to sign in and give your password to any app, it is unsafe. So I personally wouldn't trust any of them right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really
There's
good advice.
Great question from Mary here. How many stories should you do per day? Is there a right or wrong? So no, there's no suggested number. It's unique to you. If you swipe up on your stories, you'll see how many views they had. So you'll see 100, 98, 97, 96. If one of them drops from 97 down to 57, that particular hashtag was in essence boring to most people. So they unfollowed. So not unfollowed, they minimized your stories. So that will help you learn what number of stories people are going to retain their attention for and what type of content makes people minimize you. So you just play around, read the analytics, see where the drop-off happens the steepest, and that one was not so interesting for your audience.
Suzanne says here, what do you mean, Ayaz, when you say use the smallest hashtag?
So hashtags are basically a competition, you could say. So if you use a hashtag around 25,000 people versus using a hashtag with 2 million people, by the time you refresh the feed of the 2 million hashtag, you would have jumped so far down. So you don't have an opportunity to become rank 7, rank 5, rank 3, or rank 1. So when you use a smaller hashtag around 28,000, 35,000, you have a much more successful chance of ranking on that hashtag for longer because there's less competition on smoothie bowl recipes than hashtag smoothie. So the less competitive hashtag is will be where you win.
So you're a smaller fish in a smaller pond.
Exactly.
You're saying there. Fantastic. I'm just looking at probably one more question we can do, and we've just gone past 30 minutes here. Any tool to post on different social media at the same time? Is it a good strategy?
When you're first starting out with this, one video a week strategy, you can definitely start by copy and pasting the same caption on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. But over time, you'll actually want to do a different caption on Twitter and a different caption on Instagram. So there are tools out there, but honestly, if it takes you 90 seconds longer, you'll be able to tag other people's accounts better by doing it manually. So I wouldn't aim for the automatic approach. I'd go for hard-earned work is going to give you the best results.
We'll do another couple of questions, but whilst I'm doing that, maybe just put in the comments what you found really useful on tonight's Zoom here with Ayaz. What's really going to help change your business, what you've learnt. We've done this one before, Ayaz, because we actually did an IGTV Zoom. So you can answer this one very easy for April Grace here. How can you get 10K followers to get the swipe up without buying followers?
There's a lot of different ways to get a swipe up. I think the easiest is posting an IGTV. And like I mentioned, when you go to the story, let me try and do a quick example here. Let me make a quick example of you guys.
Right, we've got real life action going on here.
You can see on my screen right there, there's a brand new icon. Looks like 2 paper clips.
Yep.
That allows you to get a swipe up from your story over to IGTV. Those little paper clips linked together.
Right. So you don't need 10K followers to do that.
No, you cannot link to another website, unfortunately. You can't go to your partner Juice Plus shop, but you can go from your story to your IGTV. And that's just going to help you in so many ways to get more views in your IGTV.
Brilliant. Last one, I guess, we're here. We've got from Rebecca. Can you post a live from Facebook onto Instagram?
The easiest way of doing that, honestly, is to screen record your live while you're watching it. There's an app called Screen Capture, and I would chop it up into lots of 15-second videos and put that in your story. Even if you chop up a 1-minute chunk from Facebook Live, Instagram will chop it up for you into 4 perfect 15 seconds.
Fantastic. Whilst we do one, we're going to do one more question. Maybe just put in the comments again, what would you like to see on the next series we're going to do with Ayaz here? By the way, don't mention his music as well, by the way, because we like his music choices. It's not going to be about that. It's about social media content.
Definitely. Today's
maybe just put down maybe what you would like to see on the next Zoom we're going to do with Ayaz.
More than happy to help.
Last question here.
I think what's exciting news to maybe quickly announce to you guys is we used to have the social media toolkits as 4 really long presentations. What we're working on for the summer is to make them into really quick 5-minute videos with maybe 20 different versions for you. So if that's helpful, leave a thumbs up in the comments. Quick 5-minute videos.
Both hands up.
Give a double wave if you're feeling that. Yeah, so you don't have to sit for 1 hour. You can just sit for 4 or 5 minutes on the topics that you want to hear about.
Fantastic, Ayaz. I mean, we could stay on all night listening to all these golden gems that come out, of course. And we're all into the social media, of course, and it's moving so fastly, as we know. But to get these great tips that are going to really help impact everyone's business, especially as we're all on lockdown, of course, we're just all on our phones all the time, constantly.
Absolutely.
That's it. I'm fighting with my kids, of course, about broadband too, because they're all going, "Oh, Dad, it's not the quick download speed, not quick enough." I said, "Listen, there's millions of people on now. That's why."
Absolutely. And that's a great point. It's lockdown. You have no excuse not to film 3 videos this Saturday. So make sure you start with your 3 this week and then 1 a week from then on. And I am so excited for how you guys are going to smash it in the weeks to come.
Fantastic. So there's the challenge, Ayaz. 3 videos before Saturday. Maybe drop him a DM on his Facebook page to say, "Listen, I've done it." Right? He's going to kill me for saying that now. But anyway.
No, it's okay. I've made a work Instagram account, Ayaz Hussain JP. You guys are welcome to hit me there. My personal Instagram was going crazy. So my work Instagram, Ayaz Hussain JP.
Thank you, Ayaz. I mean, it's been an invaluable call. It really has, to go through on this Zoom. Lots of great tips. Everybody, put your thumbs up if you enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you, Simon. Appreciate you big time.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe. That's all I can say as well. Stay sane as well. And our business is going like that at the moment. It really is. So it's going to be a great April for everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining this Zoom. It's been terrific. It has been recorded, and I know Ayaz is going to be popping this on my YouTube page. I think Ayaz, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I'll put it up tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Good night. See you later.
Good night.